Hey guys, it's Ryan here with Hobbies and Man. Let's get in. Today we're doing another episode of the Sword and Sorcery Book Club. Today we're looking at Conan the Barbarian, issue 17. I didn't get a physical copy of this. My comic book store is still having issues with Diamond distributors, so I'm not getting anything out of Titan, at least not when it's supposed to come out. So this is probably going to be the last video of the year. Maybe I'll do another one. I'm not really sure. But if it is the last video of the year, I wish you guys the best in the holiday season. And I am probably going to try to change up how I do videos next year for this channel. I'm not really sure. I mean, I like how I do them now, but maybe there's a bit more work that needs to be done to make this better. So if you have some recommendations, let me know down below. And without further ado, let's just get started here with book 17 of the Conan the Barbarian series. And it's called Twisting Loyalties, Part 1. And the book specifically is Fangs and Foolish Thieves, with Twisting Loyalties being the arc name, I guess you could call it. And this is written by Jim Zub, with art by Danica Brine, or Danica Brine. I'm not really sure how to say her name. João Canolo is doing the coloring here, and he does a great job. I actually quite like this colorist a lot. And I gotta say, I like Danica Brine's artwork as well. I think it's not necessarily what I would think about when I think of Conan, but I do like it, right? If there was a series that was specifically of Bêlit, or maybe a Vegetora series or something like that, maybe a Vampirella or Red Sonja series, this is the type of artwork I would expect out of it. And so it's not that far removed from the artwork that you need for Conan, right? I mean, some people might argue that it's a bit too pretty looking, especially with the great coloring that João Canolo gives it, and all of the interesting color choices. But I actually really like it. I think it looks really, really nice, and it works really nicely, particularly because it makes Bêlit look super radiant and beautiful, right? And I appreciate that. We have Richard Starkings and Tyler Smith as the letterers here, and Chris Butera is the editor. So this book opens with all the same stuff that we usually get in the Median Chronicle. We have a map, and this time it's actually zoomed in, and we specifically see the red circle that tells us where we are, to be located between Argos and Shem in a port city. Although technically the city that is mentioned here is called Asgalon or Asgalan, something like that, which is the port city right at the edge of Shem, even though the city that we see ourselves in within the story is called Kairos. So maybe we're looking at the wrong side of the map here. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. I'm not really sure. But Kairos is this port city where the Tigress has landed. And we see that Conan and Bêlit have decided to disembark and have some fun in the town, right? It's basically like going to Vegas for these awesome pirate people. And they're just having fun, just kind of going through life. They walk through the town. They get to see some pretty dancers, and they continue, and eventually they make it to a nice tavern looking area. I love the vibe here. It has a very like Spanish Arab kind of vibe to it that I really like. It looks really, really nice. And Bêlit tells them that they have arrived at the Hidden Haven, and that they're just here to enjoy themselves, that they can relax, right? Because Conan thinks that they were going to be lying low, and it turns out that they're actually living the high life. And he's kind of unsure about it, but she tells him to relax, that she's done this quite often. She pays for a paired nest, which is a special lover's room, basically. And then they go down to have some ale to enjoy. And I actually really like the size difference that we see here between these two characters, right? Of course, Bêlit is a strong, capable warrior, but she is a small, beautiful woman, and Conan is this towering, lumbering giant. And I really like it. I think it's fun. We get to see them enjoy themselves, just have fun with each other, and just enjoy a date. And eventually, they're listening to some music. They get drunk enough that Bêlit decides to do another beautiful dance for Conan, and she launches Conan back into his memories when we see Conan getting onto Bêlit's ship, the Tigress, fighting her off, and then being gifted with her mating dance, right? And he remembers this as she launches into a new one, and I love the double page spread here that Danica drew, showing us that dance, and it looks beautiful. It looks really, really nice. Bêlit manages to make everyone in the tavern that they're in, clap and enjoy her beautiful dance, and then Conan is escorted by Bêlit up into their room, where they lay together for the rest of the night. They have a lot of fun. They enjoy themselves. And throughout it, we get a lot of a description of the love and the interest that Conan and Bêlit feel for each other, and the passion that abounds in their relationship, right? After their night of passion has finished, they're relaxing and they're chatting about their desires and their wants in the world, right? And Bêlit is a very materialistic person, whereas Conan is just like, I just need enough to survive. Whatever I've got is good enough. And right now, I feel completely fulfilled because I have you in my arms, right? Something kind of vaguely romantic like that. And, well, the night doesn't finish well because 4 different jackals, which are thieves, show up. There's 3 male characters and 1 female character, and they jump into the room to try to rob these unsuspecting rich people. And it turns out that, well, they didn't expect that Conan and Bêlit would be able to fight them off, right? And Conan immediately grabs one by the throat and punches the shit out of him. And the fight ensues, and it's really fun. It's very dynamic. It's very energetic. I really, really enjoy this fight. We get to see Bêlit paired off against a female character, and they're fighting. And because Bêlit is a warrior that's used to fighting in the ocean, her balance is quite good. And this lady does not manage to topple her over the guardrail that defines the balcony, right? Conan fights these 3 characters. He murders one indiscriminately, kind of psychotically, actually. By like crushing his face with his knee, and then he fights the Gunderman, and this is pretty awesome. It looks like 2 barbarians fighting each other, and it's great. Conan is about to attack him, but then gets hit in the face with the guy's axe, and then Conan is like, okay, no more fucking around, I gotta focus. He locks in, he catches the Gunderman's axe as it's coming down, and then he breaks his face with his knee and kills them with his sword. Bêlit is struggling a little bit with this woman, but she manages to get the upper hand by biting her arm, and then Bêlit has the lady dead to rights. Conan has killed all of the men, and the girl is begging for her life. She immediately wants them to give her mercy, and then when that doesn't work, because Conan's not going to kill her, but Bêlit will, she starts asking them to help her do a robbery instead. And well, Conan initially doesn't want to. He doesn't want to deal with the Stygians, which is the people that they're trying to steal from. And Bêlit, of course, is like, well, Conan, relax, we can do this. We're going to go and steal this snake treasure and spill all of this Stygian blood. And that's where this story ends. Next issue will be called Poison Fangs and will be part 2 of this arc. And my understanding is that this arc is only going to have 2 issues, and then issue 19 will start a new arc with a different artist. I'm not really sure though. I could be wrong about that, but overall this was a great issue. I really, really liked it. And let's see. Beyond that, the essay by Jeffrey Shanks is awesome. We talk about Amra and Bêlit, and Amra apparently is a nickname for Conan. It's my understanding of it was that it was what Robert E. Howard wanted to call Conan initially, and then for whatever reason he ended up changing the name and then used Amra as a placeholder or a nickname for Conan when he was a pirate under Bêlit, right? He explains to us that Conan's career as a corsair on the Black Coast, serving as a right-hand man of Queen Bêlit, is where we see Conan use this nom de guerre, this war name, Amra the Lion, as he terrorized the Western Oceans. And we mention it in the Scarlet Citadel, where he meets another character that used to know Conan back in the day. I remember this. I've read this story before, and he talks about the fact that this is also mentioned in Hour of the Dragon. There's a character there that also knows Conan because he's an old pirate, and he knows that Conan was Amra once. And it's pretty fun. I really enjoy this. Then he talks about Bêlit and her backstory. Robert E. Howard initially didn't give her much, but then Roy Thomas spent a lot of time with the original Marvel comic developing her story and figuring out what to write about her. And then there's this situation where Roy Thomas used Amra as a Tarzan knockoff to have Conan take over his name by killing him, right? And then he just mentions that Jim is going to take us on this swashbuckling adventure this time, and that's basically it for this issue. overall, I think it was great. I really enjoyed the cover. At least I got cover A. I haven't picked it up physically, but I think it looks nice. I like Rob Del Toro's artwork. Although the face there for Bêlit does look a bit rough. It's not that big of a deal because broadly speaking, if you look at the whole thing, it looks amazing regardless. Although I do think that Dean Kotz's cover is probably the best one out of the pick. But I'm a fan of Rob Del Toro, so I always try to get his cover over all of the other ones if possible. But it's not always the case, right? Sometimes I just don't care enough to try to get an alternate cover. The other cover that I like here is cover D by Dennis Medry. I think the idea of Conan being this heavy, like a heavy glam metal kind of guy is really fun. I really enjoy it. I think it's fun in a way that's very different from what you would usually expect from Conan, right? If they do these funny little weird kind of unserious or kind of very uncanon-esque kind of covers, I would like to see one where Conan and maybe a female character end up having to dress as retrofuturistic astronauts, right? Like the David Nakayama cover he did for Black Cat, where she's wearing this really awesome old school astronaut outfit, would be really fun to see for Conan, right? I think it'd be funny that he's like this big, massive dude, and he has to wear this little astronaut suit, right? I think that'd be fun. Otherwise, I don't think that we really need too much for the covers. You know, as long as we have a cool pose and good artwork, I'm very happy with them. So, yeah, this is basically it for this year because I will be out on holiday since I usually take the last 3 weeks of the last 2 weeks of the year, as well as the first week of the year of the following year, right? So 3 weeks off. I will not be able to do a review for the Savage Sword of Conan number 6 until January. So this might be the last video I do for a while on this channel. So I'll see you guys, you know, when I see you. If I do get a chance to come back to Dallas during the holiday for whatever reason, I might take the time to make a review, but you know, that's not really something I'm planning for. But you know, you never know. So otherwise, let's see, what other things do I have planned for the channel going forward? So in January, I do think I might try to come up with a different way of doing these videos because I like doing them, but between juggling this channel and the main channel, I feel like I sometimes forget about this channel. I don't treat it with as much respect as I should, right? I need to do more content for it. So I might have to change the way I do videos, or maybe just do them faster, earlier, in time. But I'm not really sure. Otherwise, I will do a review for Savage Sword of Conan number 6. I will do a review for the first year of Savage Sword before Savage Sword 7 comes out. That will be probably relatively scathing for my for my videos, right? It might be the meanest or the most negative video that I do on the channel, just because there's a lot of issues, right? And next year I will try to do more Conan the Barbarian, short story reviews, right? I want to talk about the actual original source material. I will have a interview with Jim Zub sometime in January, and hopefully in February I get to talk with Jeffrey Shanks about Eldritch Horror, right? He mentioned in the last video that he wanted to do it, so it's just about getting a time set up to do so, right? So yeah, those are all of the things I have to say to you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Happy holidays, happy Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year, whatever you guys celebrate at the time during these days. Diwali, I think, also is in this season, right? So hope you guys have a great holiday season, and see you guys in the new year. So thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys later.